Hey guys, it's Christy with Zen 10 Lotus Tarot. So I just wanted to come to you with a really quick video. Um, I've been off here for quite a while. Been trying to upload videos, but I'm having some technical difficulties. So that's why you haven't received any of my videos. But I'm going to continue to do them, and hopefully I get this technical bug worked out one way or the other. So I hope you're having a great last 10 days, because that's how long it's been since I've been able to upload. It's 10 days. So not sure what's going on with that or why, but I'm blocked from being able to do that. So I'm just going to continue to keep doing these videos, and when I actually can upload, I absolutely will. So bear with me through that process. It's been a crazy crazy couple of weeks for me, and I wish I could share just how crazy, but I won't do that. But we're gonna start to figure out why things are going a little haywire. I've been getting a lot of messages, had a ton of dreams, lots of stuff I want to share with you. I'm gonna be careful in that process. Not everybody needs to know everything, you know what I'm saying? And I've learned that in the last couple weeks, is that some things are just better left unsaid, and let people do what they're going to do and figure out their own consequences of what it is that they're going to do. So yeah, any messages like that are just going to be God's will, you know? Whatever is God's plan and will be. And you can't save everybody, you know? That's the hardest and biggest thing to learn in our life, is that we will not ever be able to change anyone, not anyone around us, you know? It doesn't matter like who they are, what they know, what you know. Nothing will change anyone except themselves. And so we can certainly love them from a distance. We can certainly wish them the best that they possibly could ever do in their life, but we can't hold their hand while they figure out the lessons that God has in their life plan. You know what I mean? We can't hold their hands. We can't convince them of a correct path. We can't convince them to remember who they are deep down in their whole, you know, their soul space, their heart space, their head space, their light space. You know, the biggest thing is their light space. And what people don't understand or take into account is that sometimes, you know, we've allowed things in our life to become a part of us that are not for our greater good, you know? And it's like, how does that happen? Well, I mean, sometimes we have no control over that. Sometimes it's like, you know, maybe it's a work environment, for instance, you know, where there are people around us that we can't, I mean, they have a job there too. So, but just their energy alone, you know, can shift our energy if we allow it. But it's a choice, you know? It's always a choice about what it is that you decide for yourself in that matter. So if there are people around you that are influencing you in a negative way, you have a choice. You have a choice every single moment, you know? Do I want to contribute to whatever this is? Do I want to be a part of whatever this is? Do I want to be involved with whoever is involved in whatever it is they're involved with? You know, it's like just because somebody is around you doesn't mean that we have to allow them to affect us, is the biggest thing. Affect our energy, affect our soul, affect our heart, affect our mind, you know? If we allow it, obviously it occurs, but it's our choice, you know? So you have to ask yourself a question, you know? In any given moment, am I going to live in my integrity, or am I going to actually allow the influence of others to coerce me, oh my God, coerce me into being somebody that I'm not, deep down in my soul and heart space, the space that God created as a light for me to shine in those moments of darkness where I have a choice. Who am I? What am I wanting for myself? What do I want to do with my own life? How do I want my path to unfold? How do I want to heal? How do I want to grow? How do I want to discover new ways of thinking? How do I want to expand my knowledge? How do I want to be better? And sometimes when we think in a 3D world space of what is considered better, we think in ways that the devil would love us to think, what is better? What does the 3D world tell us is better? More. I don't know. I just, there are things that tempt us into feeling like they're better, when in reality, it's like, it's just a temptation. That's it. It's the devil. It is a demon that you've allowed to attach itself to you in some way, shape, or form, whether it's energetically, whether it's physically, the exchanging of physical energy with someone, the exchanging of sexual energy with someone, the exchanging of ideas with someone, the exchanging of any kind of anything that we give our own energy out into. So for instance, you may be somebody who interacts with very little people in your life because you've realized that at some point having more people around is more harmful than it is good. Because then you're dealing with not only your own inner demons, your own inner temptations, your own inner unhealed spaces within you, but then you're also dealing with all of that in someone else. So think about that for a minute. That's a lot to deal with, you know what I mean? And so sometimes you have to cut off as far as like your energetic power that you share with others. So what happens when we do that is that we see things more clearly. We understand things at a better level. We begin to open our eyes to things where we were sleeping. We begin to notice things around us a little more keenly. Does that make sense? Like, you may have noticed, you may have thought, you may have felt, you may have considered, you may have dabbled in the idea of something, But when we're quiet and we go within and we take the time to truly become aware, nobody can take that power away from us. That's empowering ourselves to be awake instead of asleep, to fight for our justice, whatever that justice is, whether it's karmic, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's medical, whether it's whatever it is, we begin to fight for ourselves in the matter. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, that's all you got is you. and you will find that out at some point in your life, is that it's only a you versus you scenario. We are born alone and we will die alone. And so protect your integrity at whatever cost you see necessary. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't. Share your love light energy with everybody around you one way or the other, whether you feel a certain way or you don't, whether you notice or you can't, whether you see or you're blind, whether you, whatever it is, protect you first, because you have to, because nobody's going to do it for you. And sometimes you begin to realize that you're the only one protecting you. Like as far as in this physical world, a lot of us have a lot of things protecting us. It could be angels and ancestors and, God and Jesus and prophets and, archangels. And, we have certain protections that not everybody understands. I'm encouraging you to begin to research about that, because a lot of people don't understand. When you have a level of protection that maybe you don't even understand fully, it's like you also need to protect others from hurting you, especially the people you love, especially the people you would never be able to wrap your head around the idea of them hurting you in the first place. You know what I mean? And so sometimes that requires you to pull back your own energy to protect them from hurting you. Whatever you have to do. And so people get uncomfortable when that happens. Why? Because they're used to you protecting them, engaging with them, pumping them up, inspiring them, motivating them, encouraging them, protecting them, loving them with everything you got. And there comes a point in time where if you're not receiving that kind of love, attention, affection, empowerment, boosting, inspiring, and you feel that energetically, you need to pull back your energy to protect yourself first. So it's you versus you. You're the only one you can change. You're the only one that can heal. You're the only one that can grow within yourself. And that's a tough process, isn't it? It's a tough process of realization, discovery. It's a tough process of knowing, that you are literally and utterly alone in that process. It's a healing process that has to happen within you. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can help you through it completely. We have support systems, obviously, yes. So many support systems around us. And if you're feeling in a space where you don't feel like you can do this alone, then you need to reach out. But what I'm saying is that you will, for certain, need to take care of yourself first. Whatever you have to do, And it's like, nobody really understands or can gauge what's going on within you. Only you can evaluate, understand, learn, and grow from your experiences alone. What have you learned? What have you learned in your past? What have you discovered about yourself? What have you found to be the outcome in the past that has now taught you in the future how to move forward, how to move safer, how to move like wiser, wiser, you know, more protective of you, of course, first. And then, and only then, once you are protected, then you can start to worry about everybody else around you's protection. But that also comes with give and take. It's not a one-way situation, you know. And maybe you're dealing in your life where you felt like you have always been that person who gave, you know. And we love givers. Oh, and God loves givers, right? And God wants you to forgive anybody who takes, you know, and forgive anybody who harms or hurts or tempts or does anything, you know, and we do, right? And that's for our own healing process, is to forgive and to love regardless, you know. Yes, unconditionally but we also have to realize that we can love people and also, excuse me, Spirit, thank you. We can love them, we can pray for them, but their own journey of self-discovery and what needs to change and heal within them is a completely independent process of us. So that means that we don't have to give all of our energy in them figuring out their own healing process, right? And we certainly don't need to do that at our own expense, you know? More important than anything, at our own expense anymore, you know? And I think that's what you're learning. That's what I've been feeling. I've been super energetic the last few days, like just feeling my best energetic self. And it's because sometimes you have to go within and internalize what it is that you're feeling in any given moment with anything that's going on around you. Okay? And so you have to take a moment and step back and say, you know, if I'm in a space of anxiety, why am I feeling this way? If I'm in a space of nervousness, you know, and feeling on guard, why do I feel this way? What within me hasn't yet healed to the point where I am capable of feeling okay right now? What within me? Not what within others, but what within me is not healed enough to move forward in my life. You know what I mean? What in me is not healed enough to recognize certain things? You know, what within me isn't evolved enough to understand that I have a choice in the matter? You know, how cool is that? We have a choice in every which way we move. Nobody's ever stuck. Nobody ever doesn't have free will, you know? And it's like, if you're feeling in a space where you don't have free will, pray about it. Pray about you understanding what it is that's making you feel that way to begin with. And what, if anything, can you do about it personally? You know, not what can others do for you, but what can you do about it personally to get on a path of being able to change, transform, learn new things, grow, evolve, expand, awaken, you know? No more sleeping. No more sleeping on the job, yo. Get up, wake up, you know, open your mouth, open your eyes. How can we make that happen for ourselves? So yeah, that's my encouragement to you, is that if you're feeling in a space of just being in your life at maybe a crossroads where you're like, okay, I could go this way or that. What about that do I know? What about that do I love? What about that do I miss? What about that do I want? What about that do I desire? What about that excites me? What about that inspires me? What about that helps me to grow? What about that gives me the freedom to be who I am? What about that enlightens me and helps me on my path of purpose and passion? What about that creates change? What about that helps people? What about that heals people? What about that is good? What about that is bad? What about that makes me feel scared? What about that do I remember as not being fulfilling? What about that do I remember held me in a space of regression instead of evolution? What about that? What can I do in order to shift the bad into a space of light? You know? And it's like, it's a pros and cons situation on our mind, you know? Like, how do we shift or transform whatever it is that we're dealing with, going through? How can we change things? How can we shift things? How can we move differently? What decisions do we have to make right now in this moment to help us to decide what is our correct path? Or, you know, like, what could we do in order to move in a way that helps us instead of hurts us, or heals us instead of keeps us in a space of shit energy? Pardon my language, but it's the truth, you know? And you have to gauge it. You have to investigate it yourself. You have to tweak certain things. You have to live a little differently, you know? And if you notice that there are things that are bringing your energy down, you need to remove yourself from the equation. And here's the thing. I don't care what it is. Is it job? Is it the hard truths in life, you know, the hard truths of our friends, our family, our neighbors, our communities that we live in, our social circle, whatever it is. And I hate having to even feel that for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, that's the hardest thing to see or understand or change, right? But you have to recognize, like, you know, where your energy shift happens on that mental health continuum that we're always on, right? At any given moment of any given day, of the shit that we're dealing with mentally, you know? That grieving process we're, you know, dealing with, that healing process we're dealing with, that trauma process, you know, the trauma that we may have been through. And what do you consider a trauma? When I say that word, trauma is interpreted and perceived by everybody differently, right? It doesn't matter what you consider versus what I consider a trauma, do you know? So don't judge people if they have things that you don't know about them that they've dealt with. Don't judge people for whatever it is that they're dealing with internally to try and become a better version of themselves, you know? And like, don't assume that when they say the word trauma, that it's something, you know, that you would consider a trauma. I don't know how to explain that in a better way, you know? Like, I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers when I was about, 5 years old or something. And like, I wasn't supposed to, but I snuck and did it anyways. And here's the thing. That traumatized me, yo. If you've ever seen that movie, it's crazy. At least it was as a 5-year-old. I can tell you that I love scary movies, and I love, like, you know, like thrillers and shit like that, but like that movie traumatized me in some way. You know what I mean? And so, and I know that that sounds very insignificant and silly, but what I'm saying is that how I interpret traumatizations versus how you interpret traumatizations, or what you've been through in your life and what I've been through in my life, could be completely and utterly different. So don't assume that somebody is completely broken over their traumatizations. No, that's not the case at all. In fact, it's helped us grow in some way, right? So what I'm saying is that please don't assume what my trauma is versus what your trauma is, or things that I talk about in the healing process, and don't assume. My videos are for a you versus you process of understanding and learning yourself. Understanding and learning that we all have the capability to transform ourselves, that we all have the capability to learn, we all have the capability to grow, we all have the capability to decide how we're going to live in a day, right? So do what you need to do to help yourself heal, and allow others to do what they have to do to heal themselves in that process of becoming your very best version of you. That's all we ever want to be. And what makes us our very best self? A lot of people may consider that that's, again, like 3D things. That we have the best car, that we have the best house, that we have the best money, and we have, everything. And that's not the case for some people. And it's like, if a lot of people just assume that that's what it is. No. In my personal aspirations of what I consider abundance to be, or my 10 of cups, or my 10 of pentacles, is like love, feeling love from my people. You know what I mean? Loyalty, feeling loyalty from my people. Encouragement, support, friendship, friendship that in a damn moment that if you need something, they're there, and like laughter, excitement, inspiration, feeling motivated, having passion, passion for somebody, or having somebody be passionate, so passionate about you. These are things that I consider my 10 of cups, my 10 of pentacles. And protecting family, loved ones, friends, relatives, ancestors, that kind of stuff inspires me. That kind of stuff pumps me up. That kind of stuff excites me. That kind of stuff is like, sitting by a fire with my feet up with my family. That's a big deal to me. That's abundance to me. Watching my kids and grandkids and everything play together, in the holidays, that's abundance to me. Being capable of sharing a really good time with people that I know and trust and love and know in my heart space are genuinely wonderful, God-fearing, God-loving people. That's abundance to me. So be careful how you interpret how people perceive abundance, or perceive their 10 of cups, or perceive their 10 of pentacles, because money can't buy you those things. Money, it doesn't matter what it is, things will never get you that kind of abundance, that fulfillment, that soul space, heart space, filling me up with goodness stuff, like things versus experiences. Give me experiences. Give me the chills when I listen to a song. Give me the chills when I hear somebody speak the truth about life, about struggle, about how they have grown, how they have learned, what they're doing next, how they got inspired to begin with, how'd you get inspired? How'd you get passionate? What within you? What did you go through? What's your story? What's your testimony? That kind of stuff is abundance to me, and maybe it is for you too. I don't know. But the whole reason I say that is because you may be going through that process of grieving in the denial stage, right? Because the card that I chose was called Colorless Angel. What this card is it's like a card of denial and apathy. Like, oh well, whatever, And we live in a world of, oh well, whatever right now, don't we? It's all around us. I'm not judging anybody, but it's like I'm not sure what has happened in the world to where it's very apathetic is the best word to describe it. Like nobody cares, they just don't care. And the only thing I can consider is that they're just not in their heart space, and how did they get off track of their heart space? And again, I'm nobody to judge anybody because I get off my heart space path all the time. It happens to all of us. We are human beings living this life experience. We will go off path. We will say hurtful things. We will do hurtful things to others. And what our biggest challenge is can we recognize it and shift it in that moment? Do we need to step back a moment and take the time to realize what we could have done differently in this whole scenario of situation that we're dealing with right now? Could we take that denial or the projection of denial or apathy or the whatever mentality, and can we shift it into a space that helps us to grieve whatever it is that we're grieving and move it into a direction of evolution instead of regression, right? Can we perceive it in a way that allows us to grow instead of instead of taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps back? Can we shift our perspective instead of thinking, well, whatever, and really go within and say, why do we feel like whatever? Why do we feel like what within us allows us to take whatever it is that occurs around us and fluff it off like it's nothing, That only keeps us in the grieving process longer. It only keeps us in a space of unrest longer than we have to be, And it's a choice. It's a choice of change or a choice of continuation. The grieving process is fluid, The mental health continuum, fluid as well, which means that on any given day, anybody can be at the other end of any of the spectrum of that. What are you dealing with? What experiences have you had? What kind of coping, of course? All of those things factor in. But, we really are a world right now of apathy. We're watching things, and I'm not, because I don't, but I couldn't even tell you what's going on in the world right now because I just don't watch the news. That's one thing that I have put a boundary up against. I don't need to worry about more than what I already worry about on my own damn self. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't, I got enough shit to worry about, like, let alone, what bomb's about to be dropped or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is that, the truth of the matter is that, we've become a world of uncaring, you know? And I don't know how that happened. And I'm not even going to begin to like pretend that I have any way of knowing why or how to shift it. Because the only person I can ever shift is me, and hope that I attract in that process people like me, you know? People like me, like-minded like me, people who have the ability to expand and evolve and grow and learn and love and share and get excited and play. And you know what I mean? You just hope that you attract those energies. And the only way to do that is to be in a space of love instead of apathy, right? And in a space of wanting more, better, good. And that process starts with you. How can I give? How can I love? How can I care? You know, truly care. So this sentence is insanity, and I get goosebumps, and so apathy is the crowned king of nothingness and the shining queen of whatever. And it's like, you know, if we're parents, if we're friends, if we're family, if we're kinship, if we're co-workers, you know, whatever it is, like, how can we help others around us to understand the importance of caring, you know? And it's like, because it is a you versus you process. What can you do within yourself to heal you enough to understand that the only way to inspire others to change is to change yourself first, right? Change yourself first. Hope others recognize that and say, what is it that that person does on a daily basis to inspire, you know? And so it's like, who are you surrounding yourself with? What kind of energy is around you? What kind of energy is influencing you? Notice. It's not a whatever or a nothingness. It's everything, you know? It really is everything. What are you feeding your brain with? What are you feeding your body with? It all contributes to who you are, how you can perceive, how clear can you think, how clear are you capable of getting your point across in a loving yet truthful and honest manner, you know? How capable are you of going within and noticing those things within you that are still unhealed, that need a lot of work? And we're always a work in progress, every one of us, you know? And again, it's always an aha moment, like, oh shit, that ain't healed. That ain't healed, because if it was healed, I wouldn't feel bad about it right now. And if, what can I do to work on it, you know? Because it's a block for me. It's a block for me from gaining clarity. It's a block for me from gaining that abundance I'm talking about, you know? What is it? Am I lacking the ability to trust? Are there still wounds within me that need, you know, those swords out of my heart pulled out, you know? Is it, what is it within me that I can change and hopefully help others to recognize their own unhealed wounds that still need love and tender care, you know? If you're feeling in a space of denial and apathy in whatever grieving process you may be dealing with, I'd like to encourage you to try to figure out why you don't care. You know, and that's a scary process, because that's going deep within our shadow self. Because our light self cares, you know, it's our heart, soul, energetic bliss, you know, So if we're in a space of whatever, I don't care, you got to figure out why. What within you is still wounded. What within you needs healed. What within you could be, how can you shine a light on those parts of you that you need to tend to in order to get you into a space of healing and grieving through that denial stage, and understanding that that it's happening, whatever it is that you're going through, it is happening. It is unfolding. It is you versus you process in discovering what you can do in order to move forward. And it's also, getting through a feeling of nothingness to somethingness, even if you can get to like, ooh, maybe this is happening, maybe I'm not going to be okay through this. Well, what do I got to do in order to protect myself so that I am okay with this, so that I don't completely fall apart through this process of grieving whatever it is that I'm grieving, and it's like, I don't know how that can happen for you, but it's something that you do need to evaluate within you in order to move through that process a little less energetically draining. The grieving process is energetically draining, to say the least. It's takes a lot out of us. It takes a lot out of it's a test. It's a test to see how strong is our faith, how strong is our heart, how strong is our ability to still love and to forgive and to notice and to understand and to allow and to discover and to get inspired and to understand that things in our life are changing because of whatever it is we're grieving, and to heal, bottom line, to get to a space of healing and acceptance in that process. So I'll just throw down a couple cards. This is super long again. Me and my long-windedness, I'm trying. Yeah. We've got the Knight of Coins here, and this energy is a super stable energy. Somebody who plants little seeds of knowledge, intentions, wants, needs. They plant their seeds, and they do it slowly. They do it at their own pace, and they invest in certain things and people and places and ideas and goals and aspirations and whatever. But they are slow moving at that process. They know that nothing worthwhile comes easy to them, and they know and understand the idea of hard work that it takes in order to plant those seeds, and the time that it takes in order to see those seeds that you did plant come to fruition, and the way that you did in your mind have created those to come to fruition. And so it's like, but you have been going super slow at realizing that there's some things in your life that are changing, and you haven't been ready fully, to take the leap of faith in whatever direction that you saw for yourself, whether that's as a kid that you dreamt of, or things that that you're capable of, but you're just a little nervous about, like, what would people think? How will this unfold? Will it unfold? Could I be successful? What will people think? And it's like, but you're ready to take that leap of faith to say, you know what? It's time. It's time to make the changes in my life that I know need changing. And I'm inspired by it. I'm ready, and I'm aware of the cliff that I'm about to jump off. I'm aware of everything I'm leaving behind. I'm aware of all the things that I could face in that process. You know, I'm aware, but I'm leaping anyway type of energy, which is like, to me, boss. It's like you're just you're ready to stop being confused in your brain, or stop the denial process or the confusion process of not knowing what it is that you know you need to do. And you know, you've done that inner work to know that there are certain things in your life that need to change, and you're ready for that change, and you're no longer blinded or delusional, sort of, or incapable of seeing clearly what decisions need to be made, and what ways you need to go, and which path you need to take. You know what I mean? And it's like the devil could be dealing with a Capricorn, let's hope. But you know, you're no longer clouded by the smoke and mirrors of the devil. God, that's perfect. Yes, I knew it. It's taken you so long. Oh my God. It's taken you so long to, you know, the Seven of Cups in the upright is like your cups being offered to you, you know? And it's like they're all shiny and glittery and lovely, and there's little rainbows all over them, and it's like all these little dreams and goals and aspirations and things and opportunities and stuff like that that seem great, but you don't know what's inside those cups when it's upright. It's like, choose carefully, because this one might be bigger and shinier and more glittery, but what's inside, you know? Like, is it filled with nothingness, apathy, whatever mentality? No excitement, no inspiration, no love, no giving, no caring, no understanding, no growth. And what about this one? Is it filled with, it might be in a tempting little package by the devil, like nice body, nice hair, nice whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying is these are options, opportunities, dreams, goals, things like that, collaborations, all these different ideas, right? But not all of them, like not everything that glitters is gold. And if you're that person who gets tempted by the glittery and gold outer coating of people, or opportunities, or ideas, or living situations, or work situations, or whatever it is, if you are attracted to only the idea or the glitteriness of it, remember that there's stuff inside these cups, and you don't know what it is. What the devil has, he's tricky. Oh, he's tricky, man. He will tempt us in ways that you can't believe, you know? And especially if you're someone who takes their time to evaluate what is the right choice, you know? What is the right path? What is the right purpose for me? What is the best version of me? Maybe that takes you a long time because you get distracted by this. But that's no longer happening. You're not allowing the devil to do your choosing. You are taking the reins in the situation. It's taken you a while to do that, but the devil can no longer blind you to the fancy cup. It's going to allow you to see what's beyond that cup. What is your 10 of Pentacles? What is your fulfillment? What is your everything? If it's glitter and gold, that's wonderful, but what's inside? What's in the soul space? What's in the heart space? What's in the, you know, what's your idea of the everything, you know? But you're going after it, and you're not allowing the devil to get in the way anymore. and you're ready to collaborate. You're ready to collaborate and put the work in to do on yourself, to be able to use your discernment to figure out and pick at and understand the innerness of things now. It's no longer about the outside package. It's no longer about the delivery. It's no longer about what looks glittery and gold. It's about what is inside something. What's hidden? What's beyond the smoke and mirrors? What's beyond the outer shell? What's beyond the facade, the face, the fake mask? You're ready to start to dig, to start to work at it, to figure out who it is that you would want to collaborate in your life path, whether that's in love, in business, in finance, in stability, in motivation, inspiration. Who are your people, your real people? You know what I mean? And you're working. You want to collaborate and figure it out. You're strategizing. You're prioritizing. You're working on your path. You're working on your purpose. You're working on yourself, your own healing that needs to take place in order to be successful at whatever it is that you want to do, whatever endeavor it is that you're passionate about. The Eight of Cups is like, your work. Like, what is it that you feel is your life work? And how do you get to a place where you are, what's your plan? What's your action plan? Because we can do a whole lot of no longer dreaming. We can be in our headspace for a really long time, but you're coming out of that, and you now know, and you know that it's time to make a correct plan. It has to be something that's meticulous and strategized and planned. What's your plan? What's your action plan? Because the thoughts will get us the ideas. The thoughts, if we can keep that smoke and mirrors away, can help us on our path of creation. But what action, actions are you going to take in order to make things happen? And you're going within. You have to be within yourself in order to work on you. You can't rely on others to work on you. You can't rely on, you can't. It's you. Having a come to Jesus moment with you. Like, what has to change? What do I got to do? What are the steps? How do I do it? When can I do it? How can I get excited about it? How can I get passionate about it? How can I move forward? How can I create new ideas? How can I create new projects? What within me is blocking me? What within me is keeping me stuck? What within me has created barriers? What could I do differently in order to change? Change so that my life is going in a direction that I want it to go. Not everybody else's and how they want it to go, but how do I want it to go? How do I want my story to go? How do I want it to unfold? What experiences do I want to have? How do I want to live? How do I want to breathe? How do I want to feel on a daily basis? And all of those things will direct us if we can get to a space where we can evaluate what it is that we want and desire in the first place. What is it that we want and desire in the first place? Be specific, What do you want? How do you attract it? Well, you got to match that energy. You have to match the kind of energy that you want to attract, first and foremost. So, yeah, you're going within. You're doing it. You're strategizing. You're planning. Figuring it out. How can I make it happen? And you're holding on, like you may be holding on to ideas that you've had your entire life, and because life gets us, we don't always We don't always move because of lots of reasons. We don't always move or take action for a lot of different reasons, that have, and we're not upset about that or bitter about that or resentful about that. No, it's just like life happens. We're human beings, things occur within us to stall us or to hold us back or to move us in a different direction than what we expected, or to whatever it is, and so but you're holding on to those goals and ideas and aspirations, and you ain't getting any younger, yo. And here's the deal: it don't matter how old you are. You can achieve any dream, goal, transformation, anything you want. Age is just a number. Literally, it's how you live. How are you living? Are you allow yourself to get excited about you can become whoever it is you want to be any day, any time of your life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're 5 or you're 50 or you're 78. It don't matter. Hold on to your dreams, but start taking action on them. And you have the strength, you have the capability, you have the bossness. I don't know if that's a word. I'm making up words again. You have the strength, the inner strength that tames lions. So get proud of yourself. Feel that empowerment of knowing that you are in control of you. You can empower you. And you have that strength. That lion allows her to guide him wherever you go, because he knows that she's got the inner strength that could tame him. That's something, that's something to talk about. And that's the truth. That's triumph. That's clarity. That's knowing what you want out of your life and how it's going to go and what you need to do in order to do what you want to do. That was super confusing and I apologize. I don't know. Oh, but it leads to happiness. The Sun card, the happiest card in the deck. Because things have been illuminated to you. Things have been illuminated to you that allows you to move forward on a path of knowing who you are, knowing what your best self is, knowing what your idea of freedom, abundance, love, loyalty, friendship, family, you now know and have clarity where your happiness lies. You know what your abundance is. You know that you're no longer allowing the devil to create smoke and mirrors around you, because your decisions come from a heart space of love, affection, excitement, because there's been a lot of chaos, confusion, and conflict in your life, maybe in the past, maybe it's something that, you just feel like you may have been stuck in a wheel of that from being created with smoke and mirrors. And it's like, that's been illuminated. It's like, okay, there's a lot of chaos, confusion, and chaos and competition and blah, 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 blah. I'm ready to come out of that energy. And you're ready to go after whatever it is that you're going after with love and purpose. And almost like you want to run in and save the day or save the day or save yourself, just like run in with love and go after whatever it is that you're passionate about. Because you're surrendering, you're surrendering to the idea that that maybe there were things within you that needed healed before you could fully be the best version of yourself to the best people in your life, like maybe you realized that that there were a lot of things within you that you need to discover about you on that internal journey of self-discovery that can only be done alone, but now you're surrendering to the idea of remembering and knowing and coming to Jesus and knowing that the things that light you up are the little things in life that you love, that are just simply, very simply, your abundance, your idea of abundance. And that might not be everybody else's idea of abundance, but your idea of abundance is like those little pieces of you that were created throughout your entire life, that maybe nobody knows about you. There are things that you are passionate about that nobody has a clue about, and it's like you're ready to surrender to the idea that you now realize that maybe, just maybe, the devil was creating some smoke and mirrors for you, and tempting you in certain directions that maybe you weren't meant to go, and God reveals the redeem, right? God says, hey, you had to go there, so you understood what it is that you had, what it is that is abundance for you, what it is that is your 10 of cups, what it is that is your 10 of pentacles, and that's usually family, friends, loved ones, trustworthy people, like God, being grateful for everything that you do have in your life. That may seem very insignificant to some people, but sometimes that's everything. So yeah, you're the king of love. Look at that, just ready to give out love, ready to receive love, ready to get some huggins, get some lovins, get cuddled up. Like, that's what you're looking for, right? Is just to feel love, forgiveness, affection, happiness, simplicity, no more worry, no more anxiety, no more, none of that. You're done with it, You're like, listen, it's time to feel happy again. It's time to feel my best self again. It's time to start rediscovering some things that still need healed within me, because we're always a work in progress. How to discover how to fix some things that maybe in those moments of living at a low vibration where you were tempted by the devil and fell into the trap of things that do not serve you at your core space, that heart space, that soul space, that really, truly do not serve you. You're ready to lay those down and take away the smoke and mirrors, and you're praying, that's the biggest way to do that, is to just keep praying that you can find forgiveness, praying that you can find love, praying that you can heal anything within you that needs healed in order for you to begin to see things clearly, to take away the smoke and the mirrors that are created by temptations, and just love. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be talking to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.